Hello and welcome to Morning Coffee with Steve, episode 234 for Tuesday, December 10th, 2024. I'm Steve Saylor. This is your daily show of gaming news, accessibility news, or updates about my life. I have once again McDonald's caramel latte today. I saw someone mention in the comments yesterday that this is sponsored by McDonald's. It's not. I wish. I just like me a caramel latte all of a sudden. It's fine. I could have gone with groceries, but because I'm only here for like 2 days out of the week, it'd be kind of silly to just have a groceries that could go bad in, a couple of days or whatever. So I decided I'll just wait till I get back. Speaking of which, so this is the last episode of the week for Morning Coffee with Steve. As much as I would love to be able to do an episode while I'm in LA, I just don't think it will be feasible. I mean, potentially maybe on the Thursday, but there's really not much to be able to talk about on Thursday other than what's going to happen at the Game Awards. And I'm just like, I just want to enjoy the Game Awards. So, and also want to enjoy time with friends. So plus it is my birthday weekend. And I kind of wanted to reflect, because I don't know if this will be my last, I don't think it'll be my last episode of the year. But I want to at least reflect on, basically because my birthday is this Friday, I wanted to sort of acknowledge it to a degree. And so this year I'm turning 41. And I know that may be shocking to probably some of you. I've seen a lot of my friends actually think that I'm like in my 30s, and I'm like, or like late 20s. I'm like, nope. I'm 41, and I know sometimes I don't act like it, but I am. But really, in all essence, like, well, what is really acting like 41 anyway? Like, what is acting your age? It's just a number. That's why I keep telling myself that it is just a number. It's not that I feel like, oh no, the kiss of death is getting closer. I'm not feeling that. I'm reflecting on this past year, and it's had a lot of ups. It's had a lot of downs. As life happens, it generally happens that way. Not every year is going to be like all ups, and not every year is going to be an all downer year. But this year was kind of, it was a roller coaster, a little bit of emotions, of just work wise, friends wise, like it just a lot of good things happened too. I mean, this podcast being for one, which I do have some plans for on January 4th, when the new when the new when the new year starts, and basically that's the year anniversary of me starting this show. I do have plans for what I want to do for year 2, and so I will talk about that then. But I do want to continue this moving forward. I love doing this show. There are times I feel like I don't like. It's just so much work to be able to do, but I do enjoy the community that's sort of starting to kind of grow around this. I do enjoy how folks are watching this and are liking what I'm doing with it. And I didn't expect to be doing a daily gaming news show. I always thought that there are others that do it better than I do. So what's the point? What's the purpose? But I started to really kind of get into a groove of this and enjoy it quite a bit. And I want to see that moving forward. And kind of going back to like it, I'll be probably do a better like what I want to accomplish in 2025. But one thing I am happy about, at least with my birthday this year, is that I do get to spend it with friends. I generally do. There's there hasn't really been a birthday where I haven't really spent it with friends. There's like one birthday, I think actually it might have been last year, where on the day of my birthday I basically was by myself, because I had already done stuff with my friends the weekend before, and it was just, I never, like, no one was available to be able to actually do anything on my actual birthday. So I basically just spent the day just kind of by myself. I built some Lego. That was kind of like my own little hobby and pastime of it all. And it was fine. But being a December birthday, I always find it tough to be able to be able to celebrate. Mostly because it's just everyone else has their own life. I'm not like sort of negating that, like, but a lot of it is a lot of people have sort of family obligations. A lot of people have sort of work Christmas obligations, and it's always tough to be able to get together for. I mean, and I always feel weird about inviting people to celebrate me. Essentially, I feel very uncomfortable in that, and I don't know what to do. Like I never know what to do for my birthday, and sometimes I wish it would be better if just someone just planned it for me, but oftentimes it's not the case. So this year, I've mentioned before, but I am going to Disneyland for my birthday, and this is the first time I actually get to go on my birthday. I've been to Disneyland before around my birthday. This is the first time it's actually going to be on the day, and I'm going with a whole bunch of friends. A lot of friends from here in Toronto that I hang out with all the time, which is going to be great. I'm looking forward to that. And then some friends also that are just really close friends of mine that I'm excited to be able to see and hang out with as well. And I'm like, this is the first time it's like I feel like, oh man, I'm excited for my birthday. Instead of being like, well, is anyone going to show up? Is anyone going to do a thing? Whatever, blah, 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 blah. No, this is actually happening, and it feels awesome. And I get to be a part of the Game Awards as well as part of that. It's kind of like this whole week is going to be a birthday celebration week for me, and I've never really had that, and I don't know, it feels good, man. Like, especially with the year that I've had, and constantly, like, especially around my birthday, constantly thinking like, does any like, no, I'm not gonna go down that. No. That's something I should talk to a therapist about. I don't know. I'm just very happy and grateful to be here. I'm happy and grateful to have the friends that I have. I'm happy and grateful to have you all here to kind of to enjoy whatever this is. And I just want to thank you for being there. As I reflect on everything, and I hope to be able to hear from your thoughts about the Game Awards. You might see me on camera. I don't know. It happens. I've basically for the past at least 2 years now. I've been on the camera for the Game Awards. So I don't know if that's going to happen again this year. I am in the 4th row, off to the side. And supposedly I'm around an area where there's gonna be people basically. I've been told there's gonna be like talent that's gonna be in the same row as I am. So I don't know what that means. Out of that means I'm gonna be on camera. I have no idea. But if you see me, let me know. I would appreciate it. Okay. Enough of all this gooey show of emotion. If you get that reference, we're definitely friends. Let's jump into the news for today. So we've got something coming from IGN by Michael Kripke, or Krippy? Yeah. Or Kripe, I apologize. FTC sending out first round of Epic Games refunds totaling $72 million. The Federal Trade Commission, FTC, will soon deliver payments totaling around more than $72 million to gamers. It says, we're tricked by Fortnite developer Epic Games, and more is on the way. The organization shared its plans to refund players affected by what was determined to be unfair microtransaction practices in a message on its website. The cash is included in a settlement that was originally revealed in late 2022. As the Post explains, at the time, Epic was required to pay $245 million to resolve claims that it used design tactics known as dark patterns, to trick players into making unwanted purchases, let children rack up unauthorized charges without any parental involvement, and block some users who disputed unauthorized charges from accessing their purchased content. The FTC says it is distributing 629,344 payments today and will send additional payments at a later date. The average payment comes in at $114 and is being delivered via PayPal and cash checks. Consumers involved in settlement payouts thus far chose their preferred payment method when submitting a claims form and have 30 days to redeem payments made through PayPal and 60 days to cash their checks. If you feel you were affected, you can follow, they have a link on IGN to submit a claims form. Reported on the fines Epic had been asked to pay when it was announced in December 2022. In addition to the aforementioned $245 million in refunds related to dark patterns, the Fortnite developer was also fined $275 million for violating the Children's Online Privacy Protection (COPPA) rule, bringing the total to more than $520 million. Protecting the public, and especially children, from online privacy invasions and dark patterns is a top priority for the Commission, FTC Chair Lena Khan said at the time. And these enforcement actions make clear to businesses that the FTC is cracking down on these unlawful practices. That is a lot of money. Especially, like, here's the thing. Epic has a lot of money, okay? And this also is a lot of money. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Epic has this much money out of pocket to just pay these fines outright. Because that, if you think that's $500 million, that is, I mean, I don't know if that's what that means in sort of like yearly revenue for them for Fortnite, but you gotta think $500 million is not nothing to sneeze at. It is not a small amount by any means. And you know what? Hey, they deserve it. It basically, honestly, if Epic has been doing this, they've been accused as such. They have been that they are forced to pay these fines. And that makes sense. Like, especially I think in regards to kids being able to make purchases on their own without any parental supervision. That's huge. That I think is definitely needs to be fixed. And especially with now that Epic is kind of like with Fortnite, they've been kind of introducing these new modes that are kind of mimicking other games and kind of making kid-friendly versions of it. Like, they literally just made a kid version of GTA roleplay with Brick Life. And they're also making a Valorant or Counter-Strike game in terms of Fortnite Ballistic. So they're basically copying other games. And that's, if you think about it, again, we're going back to what I said, I think yesterday, Fortnite basically started by taking the H1Z1 Battle Royale idea and was like, let's make our own. And it became popular. So why not steal from everyone else? So Epic, like, as much as they've been extremely successful and people enjoy Fortnite a lot. I know a lot of my friends who still play it and enjoy it today. But they've done some some nefarious practices. And so I think that that's great that they're basically that they're paying out. I personally, I don't think I'm getting a settlement. I don't think I actually filled out a form or anything like that. So I don't think there was anything that I purchased that was wrongfully purchased, but I'm glad that at least that people are getting their money back. Probably like years later, but they're getting their money back. So, yeah, that's basically it. Hey, that's what happens. I don't know whether the FTC is going to have it's going to get all that money back, or going to get all that money for the fines, but we'll see. Anywho, that's all I got to say about that. All right, next story. This is actually kind of an interesting one. This is from Tom Ivan over at VGC. Publisher is reportedly not nailing down release dates to avoid potential GTA 6 clash. The next entry in the open world crime franchise, which has sold over 435 million lifetime units, is one of the industry's most anticipated releases of all time. It's a sequel to 2013's Grand Theft Auto 5, which reached $1 billion in retail sales faster than other entertainment release in history and has sold over 205 million units, according to Rockstar owner Take-Two. The company said last month that the game is on track to hit its previously announced fall 2025 release window. And according to Bloomberg sources, rival game publishers are waiting as long as possible to commit to their release dates for next fall. They want to see if GTA 6 will make its deadline or be delayed until 2026, with the goal being to put significant distance between the release of their own games and Rockstar's, it's claimed. Take-Two has itself said it's planning to avoid clashes for its biggest titles, which also includes next year's Borderlands 4. I think it's safe to say that we wouldn't, and no one would stack up huge releases unnecessarily, CEO Strauss Zelnick told Variety last month. Take-Two confirmed today that the first Borderlands 4 gameplay will be revealed at the Game Awards on December 12th. So that's good to look forward to for Game Awards. This is kind of interesting. Like we all know how big of a deal GTA 6 is. We all know how big of a deal like the anticipation for GTA 6 is. It is probably going to make a ton of money. And probably, I would say, even rival GTA 5. Will it basically get as much money as GTA 5? Over time, I think probably, but we shall see. GTA 5, while is a big juggernaut, doesn't necessarily prove that GTA 6 is going to be the same amount of success. It's highly anticipated, but it all comes down to what is actually going to be in the gameplay that people are they're going to enjoy it just as much as they've loved GTA 5. I think they will. I think there's a pretty good chance that they will. Rockstar they make great games. I mean, if you think about just the games that they've put out just within the past decade, you got GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2. And they've been working on GTA 6 for a while. Plus, also, they've been always updating GTA 5. I think that's, they've been working on this for, like, they know what they're doing over there. And I think it's also on the other side of the industry. Yeah, I think it's smart to try to avoid a GTA 6 clash, because you're not going to get the same amount of players playing your game if you're going to be coming out at the same time as GTA 6. And I can guarantee there's probably going to be games that are going to be stuck with that, like around that. And I'm so sad. I hope it's not a guerrilla game. I hope it's not going to be a guerrilla game, because they always get stuck with a huge release around the same release at the same time as a huge release, and I just always feel bad for them every single time. So, and obviously we're going to see that probably Borderlands 4 is going to be not going to be releasing around GTA 6. So it'd be interesting to see when they come out. I don't know if we'll see a release date on the Game Awards. They did say we're going to see a trailer, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to see a release date. So if they're going to try to be able to avoid the fall 2026 time frame, putting it out in the summer or in the spring could be interesting. But whether or not it's ready for the spring, that is unsure. I'd say probably summer is a good bet. Summer is a good bet for Borderlands 3 or Borderlands 4. Because then that could be further enough away. Like, even though it's like Borderlands 4, if it releases in the summer and GTA 6 is in the fall, it doesn't seem like it'd be too close together that they would clash against each other. Even if, like, unless like Borderlands 4 is like in August and GTA 6 is in September, that would be weird. So I'd probably say like I would probably bet June, I'd say May, June, July, probably around there. And then GTA 6, potentially October, I would say. That's my guess. That's my prediction. What do you think? Are you going to play GTA 6? When do you think that GTA 6 is going to come out? And what games are going to be affected by whatever release date it offers? I think that this will probably affect potentially whatever PlayStation may want to announce like for the fall. Could either be an Insomniac game, could be Ghost of Yotei. We don't know when that's going to be coming out. That could also be the summer too. Because the Ghost of Tsushima, that launched in July, I think. Yeah, that makes sense because Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima launched in the same year. Last of Us 2 launched in the same year. I guess Ghost. So and Last of Us was in June. I want to say Ghost of Tsushima was in July. So they were kind of almost back to back. So I could definitely see Ghost of Yotei being released in July. Unless they wanted to go for a fall release. We'll see. I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting coming up with the next couple months of like what's going to be announced, what's going to be locked in for release dates and stuff like that. So hopefully Rockstar will eventually announce their release date, or that they're going to delay, and so that way it doesn't affect the rest of the industry, because I think they're under a lot of pressure to be able to release that. So we'll see. And then lastly, last story. It's some sad news, folks. It's been a weird year. We've reported this from the very beginning, but it's now unfortunately coming to an end. This is from Tom Ivan at VGC. Suicide Squad's current season will be its last. Offline mode coming this week. Rocksteady has confirmed that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League's current season will be its last. The studio also announced today that the game will release a long-promised offline mode this Tuesday, December 10th. So today, the game's newest playable character, Deathstroke, will also be available tomorrow when Season 4, Episode 7 is released. Season 4 will finish up with Episode 8, which is scheduled to release in January 2025, and that will serve as the last seasonal episode for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, Rocksteady said. While Season 4, Episode 8 will mark the final battle against Brainiac, all online features will continue to be available, so you'll still be able to enjoy co-op with friends, as well as all previously seasonal episodic content. You also have the option to play the game via the new offline mode, which allows access to the main story campaign and all post-launch seasonal gameplay content without an internet connection. Players will need to create a new offline mode profile, which can be done by copying an existing online mode profile or making a brand new one by starting the game from scratch. Players will then be able to switch between online and offline modes with progression made on either one, not carrying over to the other. As the latest title from the studio behind this celebrated Batman Arkham franchise, Suicide Squad was once one of the industry's most highly anticipated games, but enthusiasm for it seamlessly waned during a protracted development cycle, which included some underwhelming pre-release showings and a backlash to its live service elements. Following several delays, it was released in February to a mixed critical reception and proved to be a commercial failure, with publisher Warner taking a $200 million loss on the game. Suicide Squad was heavily discounted on all platforms over Black Friday, most notably on Steam, where the PC version was available for just $3.49 with 95% off, while the digital deluxe edition was priced at $4.99. So I remember doing a review of this back in January of this year, because I did get it for early. No, did I get it out? I can't remember if I got it early for early access. And it's sad. It is sad to see this game basically come out and not be as good as we had hoped it would be. I think that did it deserve its unfortunate demise? Yeah, I think to a certain degree. I obviously the story did not hit with a lot of players, especially fans of the Arkham franchise. It did not, the gameplay loop wasn't as enjoyable as they had hoped. I know I personally just didn't like the gameplay. It was just constant. It was just a constant shoot fest. And even though I finished the game, it wasn't really that fun. I was probably one that was less critical of the story itself, because I understood what it was trying to do, but it definitely was kind of forgettable. As far as what happened. And I also kind of felt as well that the ending kind of didn't respect the player that much, because you kind of end the game and by basically like spoilers, but I don't think anyone cares at this point. You end the game by basically you kill the Justice League, and then you're supposed to go and kill Brainiac. And the Brainiac stuff is the stuff that's the seasonal post-launch content, where you're now having to go into different sort of worlds, and you're having to be able to fight essentially the brainwashed versions of the Justice League again, sort of ish. Kind of, it's different a little bit, but basically you're going to be fighting Brainiac multiple times, and I thought that was kind of a disservice to its audience. I felt that if you're going to go if you're going to have that as part of the main online portion or the post-launch seasonal content, there should have been a better satisfying ending than what we got. because it felt like, because to me it felt like, okay, we did the thing, and then now like and then the rest of the game is now you have to go and basically take out Brainiac. And I'm like, I remember at that point I was like, I'm done. I'm not playing this anymore. Like, I don't want to have to keep constantly doing that, and it basically then spread out the entire rest of the story for months until Brainiac is officially like gone. I felt that was kind of a bit of a, you work up this whole entire thing only to basically have the rug pulled out from under you and being like, it's just nope. It's like that infinite hallway. It's like you get down to the end of the hallway and then it just kind of keeps growing. That's how this game felt. And I'm like, no, sometimes, like at some point you just have to stop. And that's what happened with me. And was it Rocksteady's fault? Sort of. Was it Warner Brothers' fault? Probably more likely, because they probably had a different idea what this game should have been, especially with the games as service. And while I think that Rocksteady wasn't necessarily completely blameless in all this, it obviously was a game that did not work. And I hope that in essence, I've seen the rumors of Rocksteady potentially looking into doing another Batman game in the Arkham universe. And to be honest, I kind of don't want them to. They've been kind of in the Arkham universe for well over a decade. And I kind of want to see them try something new. Like, this was the something new to a certain degree, but it still was in the Arkham universe. And I kind of feel like, I don't know. It could be argued that, yeah, this was something new and that they should go back to the Arkham series. But in essence, I'm kind of tired of the Arkham series. I think probably the only thing new breath of fresh air has been Arkham Shadows. I haven't played it yet, but only because I don't have an Oculus Quest 3. But I've heard it's, from all accounts, it's actually a really good, solid Arkham game. But that wasn't made by Rocksteady. It was made by Camouflage. So I would love to see Rocksteady maybe take another swing at a different thing within the WB universe. If they're going to do another DC game, I don't know. I still think that they could do a really good Superman game. I really do think so. That's my hope, at least. But hey, you know, if they decide to do another Batman game, it's not like I'm not going to play it. Batman's my favorite comic book character, really, of all time. So I'm always going to play a new Batman game, pretty much, as best I can. I still want to be able to play a Batman Arkham Shadows, but just can't, because I need to get myself an Arkham Quest 3. But anyway, there's a little bit of me that is sad to see Suicide Squad end, but it was inevitable, and it had a very tumultuous year, and I hope that a lot of things were learned by this, and that Rocksteady can lick its wounds but then get up and make a better game. That's my hope, at least. So, what are your thoughts? Do you think that was this sort of like this should have happened a long time ago? Do you think it's good that like it ended now? Do you think was there any point of potentially saving this? Let me know in the comments. I would really appreciate it. All right, so that is going to be it for today's episode. I want to thank you all for being here. Yeah, this has been and as I'm about to go to the Game Awards, I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope you enjoy watching the Game Awards if you do watch it online and you're from home. And I guess I will see you all probably next week when I'm back, and we'll discuss all of what happened from there. So thanks again. Have a good rest of your week and a good weekend, and I'll see you all on Monday. Bye-bye.